We will just keep talking. Yes.
That's why I was like, I'm just going to make y'all.
That's very on brand for all of us.
It is very on brand.
Also, Steph, I just love how your hair looks with the color in it. It's so fun.
It is. I love it. Thank you.
All right. It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third Side Changeling Live.
That's not Side Changeling.
Not Side Changeling.
That was a couple years ago.
Because I was reading that. Nope. The third Hidden Legacy. It's because I'm reading those right now. Listen, I'm in the middle of Side Changeling, and I'm in the middle of this book, and it is a disaster zone.
Mistakes were made.
Oh, are you in the middle of the last one?
Yeah. Well, I haven't started the last one, but I'm still like my brain's still there.
Yeah.
You know?
I just watched your wrap up, so I'm like,
yeah. Like, so you know what I mean when I'm saying like my brain's still there. Like I just finished Shards of Hope, and I keep wanting to call it Shields of Hope because
I mix those two up all the time because it's Shield of Winter and Shards of Hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like it's two.
But no, so I'm deep in series right now, which is like not my normal space. So weird. I don't like it here. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Do y'all want to go around and introduce yourselves? And then we'll start talking about our two books, which are Sapphire Flames and Emerald Blades. I can kind of remember those titles, kind of.
Yeah. All right. Hi, I'm Heather from Here Booktubes. I read romance, and I have controversial videos on the regular.
You do.
You're just gonna get that tattooed on your forehead, Heather.
Controversial.
Controversial.
We're gonna buy her an.
That could be my merch. Hold on, let me put this
t-shirt. That should be your merch. You need.
I mean, like her sweatshirt's gonna say, "Am I the drama?"
I literally have. I think I do. I think I have a note that's like merch ideas for like 5 years from now when I decide to make some.
I'm gonna steal your controversial merch.
It's gonna have to be like, "Am I the drama?" on the front, and then "I am the drama" on the back.
Wow!
I'm literally just gonna make a sweatshirt that says controversial.
Wow!
To all the book events.
I did not realize.
Oh
no, I don't have merch ideas. I have members ideas. I'll just put
That's okay. You can start one. All right. Hi, I'm Steph from the Novelty Corner. I read all sorts of things at the minute. I'm all over the place. So,
listen, I'm reading horror books right now because Summerween. So here we are.
I feel that. I posted my TBR.
Look at you.
Is it my turn? I don't know.
It's your turn. It is
your turn.
Oh.
I mean, if you wanted, you can just talk, not talk. Just
I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Intro.
Hi, I'm Megan, or Meowth Vader, or at the Meowth Vader on Instagram because I rarely post on YouTube, but I post more frequently on Instagram.
So wait, is the TBR on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed like.
You think I'm gonna post
Heather,
on YouTube?
You asked that question in the what?
You literally just said you posted.
Yeah, I have like a really cute TBR
I was gonna
stack. I have a cute TBR book stack picture.
Steph,
I think I saw that.
I love that we're kicking off your Saturday with us just screaming at each other.
It's okay. It's 10:30. I'm awake now.
For the viewers, everyone has had a bad day. So if you're ever going to end up like truly fighting, this is gonna be the live where like
you are here.
Have a lot of buffer right now.
But also, I ride Heather.
Well, so Steph may not be on E yet. Steph's just starting her
Heather. Heather, you have candy. I gave you candy. Eat the candy.
I can't eat it until AFB night because you said it was for me and my children.
You can eat. I gave you like packages of like 20 individually wrapped candies. You can have one.
That's not true. We have to try them together for the first time because it's experience.
She's in mum mode.
You can't
just lie to them and they're like, I haven't had this and overreact about it being delicious.
Well, some of the things are like 4 pieces and stuff. Some of them are like a lot and some of them are like smaller.
Yeah, I got ones that had like they were like cajeta. It's so good.
All right.
Some of them are tahini or tamarindo. And that'll be fun. I want to see everyone just die. But cajeta is delicious.
What does that mean?
Tamarind. Tamarind is a like a pulp that you get from trees, like the seeds of trees, and cajeta is It's light caramel. It's not caramel, but it's light caramel.
These are the candies.
Yeah, these are the candies.
I am excited to see this clip of you all trying this, Heather, in your household. It better come to the group chat.
My children are not adventurous eaters, I can tell you that. So.
Did you try the fruit stuffs with your pineapples?
No, I'm supposed to cut it up tomorrow.
I want
so
pineapple.
I will update you.
So
I need pineapple now.
Let's talk about Sapphire Flames.
I
didn't take a lot of notes, but I did take some notes, and I know Steph has probably more noted than any of us.
Should have taken my sister.
Our organized queen. We love
First
it.
of all, I will have you know, I have a lot of notes.
Good.
Many.
So Sapphire Flames, we open with Catalina's first book.
We open with a time jump.
And we open with a time jump. It's been like 5 years, 3 years?
Yeah, three.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, it's somewhere between 3 and 5.
From 18 to 21. 18 was when it ended, and then
That's
21
my
is
first
when this
note.
started.
3 years.
Listen, that was the one thing I didn't write down, okay?
We know it's 3 years because their grace period.
Because their
grace
grace
period.
That's
just
right.
ended.
That's right.
They're
The
about
grace
to
period's
end.
ending.
No, it just ended.
Which I felt like the time jump made a lot of sense. One, I don't think we're ever going to write an 18-year-old love story. Like, I just don't think we're going to go
That
to
doesn't feel like their kind of thing.
Not like that 10-year age gap from the
that
Aurora one.
Yes, no. I felt like this one was done a lot better. One, it made sense because the grace period was up, which was kind of already like a built-in things are going to be happening. Also, 21, I think, is young for one of their main characters. I think that's probably the youngest that you're going to get. And I did like, especially because it is her first relationship and it's going to be the end-all be-all relationship. I did like that she was an adult more so than graduating high school.
Yeah, same. I was happy for the time jump too. I'm not a big new adult fan.
Right.
Yeah, same.
Plus, I just don't feel like she would have been very interesting 3 years ago as a main
because
character.
she needed time to develop. Because here's the thing, I thought, so the biggest takeaway I had from this book was I thought it was really interesting how absent Nevada and Rogan are. That whole book.
Yes.
They're just gone.
That was good.
And I was like, thank goodness. Because I was like, if they're in this whole book.
Yeah.
Especially the conflict with Nevada stepping down. I was really glad that wasn't like how we were opening the book on page or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like talking about it, you know, in the future, that we're talking about something that happened a couple years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like a year because it happened when she turned 20, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
It was,
because a lot of times
I do have a minor issue with the conflict though, but that comes in the second book that I have the issue with it.
Oh, well, you know how when you switch POVs, sometimes you make your original, you know, main characters that everybody loves kind of unlikable from the other person's point of view. I hate that, and I don't feel like that's what happened.
No.
And
I like that. Like, I think it was handled really well.
Right.
And I think because they're really absent in Sapphire Flames, but we get them more in Emerald Blaze, which I think works well because it sets up the main characters for this book and then reintroduces
you need
those main players.
Yeah, I agree. I also totally forgot that our person we're helping in Sapphire Flames is the poison lady from the novella.
Runa.
I love her.
Oh, it played in. That's right.
I'm not gonna lie. I knew who the like love interest was because it introduces it in the first trilogy, but I super shipped them together.
Who?
Runa and
Oh,
Catalina.
Yeah, Runa. I thought you meant Runa and
No, Runa and Catalina. I shipped
I
them together.
was like, what the heck?
I'm like, yes, give me this sapphic love story. I knew it wasn't gonna happen because we already know who the love interest was, but I was just like, I want this.
But she is her best friend.
Which is
they are. I'm happy that they're best friends. I'm good with it.
I love. I guess that's book 2 though. Never mind.
I
There's
know.
a thing with her in
Yeah,
book 2 that I love. Hold on.
I also love.
Jumped ahead to the other book in Alive. That is just not a thing that we do.
No,
we never do that.
Never.
But yeah, I forgot because I've read. So this is my reread of Sapphire Flames, but I'd never read Emerald Blaze. I stopped because I knew I was like, we cannot keep going and wait for Ruby Fever for 2 years. So I completely forgot most of this plot though, and that Runa was even like
part of
the
it.
person they were helping.
I at least have not gotten my arc yet, and I'm already dying.
I also haven't gotten my arc yet, and I am also dying.
I don't want to wait.
I mean, I have a digital one.
read it.
I don't know.
I don't have a digital one.
I do still have it pre-ordered, so if an arc doesn't come through,
yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to harass the publicist either. So
Oh no, you're good. If it doesn't come through, then I'll just read it whenever it comes out. I don't care.
Yeah, I also
That's
love
okay. That's a day of release read.
Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised by that.
Can I just say, like,
go ahead.
because I have read both books before,
Mhm.
I completely mixed up the beginnings of these. Like, I switched them around in my head, the opening sequences of both of them. I thought that the opening of Emerald Blaze happened in Sapphire Flame. So it took me a while to reorient myself, because I remembered that Runa was in it. And I'm not going to talk about what happens at the start of Emerald Blaze, but I remembered that sequence so vividly. And I'm like, why is this not happening? Like, what book am I reading? Did I completely misremember this?
I'm trying to remember the opening of Emerald Blaze for the
Okay, and I'm still, I will angry tweet as a person who never tweets if Leon does not get something, a book, a novella, a something. I need Leon's story. I love him so much.
I love him.
I actually like how much more he's in this book and his relationship with Catalina.
Yeah.
Right. They're a lot closer in age.
They are a lot closer in age.
He's 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's like right under her, I think. Yeah.
But also, I don't think
19
she's.
And
she doesn't
Arabella's
quite try and protect him from himself as much as Nevada tried to protect him from himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I liked that, though. Like, it was a good friendship, sibling dynamic situation.
Yeah.
What else?
How do we feel about changing from Nevada's POV to Catalina's? Because I felt like Catalina did feel like a different character. As much as it is like Alona Andrews, this is what we do, this is the setup, I still didn't struggle with like the switch the way I did between Kate Daniels and Julie.
Same.
For this one, I felt like she felt like her own person.
I think it helps because we get so much of her in the other books.
Yeah, I think that like there's a reasonably big tone shift in the first three books and this one, because suddenly their house, they're having to stand on their own. Catalina's priorities are different in this book to the previous one. I think just what they're facing, because Nevada's still trying to hide.
And not even just that.
Extent.
I feel like they gave Catalina a very different personality than Nevada. Nevada feels more like a tomboy. You know, they definitely do both have a martyr complex. I feel like every Alona Andrews character has a little bit of a martyr complex, but they're like, no, I would rather die than watch a single person that I love die.
I mean, it feels stronger with Catalina, because I feel like with Nevada, it was just like, she still was like, I want to do what I want to do. I don't care, Rogan, that you're trying to play martyr. I want to be with you. Whereas Catalina is like, no, I can't. I must obey for my family, and it's all for my family. And I'm like, oh my God, why must you only suffer for your family?
But I'm wondering whether part of that is because of her powers. Like I think of all the sisters have big, massive secrets, but hers is literally detrimental to her health around people she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's this.
And I think she plays everything close to the chest because of it.
Yeah, and I feel like this is part of why, I mean, I agree with Stassi here, like connecting with her more, because we got to see her doubt everything. Like, she constantly doubts if Alessandro actually likes her. Is it her powers? Which is valid. Like, of course you're going to be like, do they even like me when you have this power that makes everyone love you? Yeah. And like, what a scary power too. Like, I don't know. I feel like they illustrate what seems like would almost be somewhat harmless, I guess, into like how terrifying it would be to live your life like that all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like her getting kidnapped as a child, or people trying to kidnap her, I should say, as like a child. Constantly.
Yeah.
Starting from birth. Like, I felt like that really packed in how effective it was. So it was like literally didn't even make it out of the maternity ward without an incident because of my magic.
Yeah. I'm happy that there was more Linus Duncan, and I'm happy there was more Bug. I love Catalina and Bug's relationship and how it is different than Nevada and Bug's relationship.
Yeah.
And I love that he just moves across the street.
Yep, because Bug with Nevada, like it feels more like they're like employees.
Yeah.
Whereas with Catalina, it's almost like he's like her older brother or like another older cousin with like a drone around her.
Bug in defense of Catalina are some of my favorite scenes in the book.
Yeah, they're so good.
Bug, mind your business. Look, Catalina.
I love Bug and Alessandro's like feud over the drone.
Yes.
It's great.
Tell him to stop shooting down my drones.
I'm just dying at envisioning Linus with Tank Grandma.
No, okay.
He wouldn't survive that relationship.
I don't think he would.
I want to remind everybody that I am operating under the assumption that at the end of Nevada and Rogan's books that they hinted that Linus was Caesar. That is what I got from that. That is the that's what I'm operating under, that understanding, right?
Okay.
Well, the end of every book and that short story.
Linus and Victoria Tremaine have a thing.
I think they have a thing. I do, yeah. I think that they have a thing. Yes.
From book, well, this would be book 2 stuff. I think they have a thing, big time.
Well, in the at the wedding in Diamond, whatever.
Right.
They danced together at the wedding.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. No, I feel like
they did.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter.
They danced together somewhere. They talked about it in the book.
Right. If you get to the end of the second book, and then you read the short story that is available on their website, Cool Aunt. Thank you. Cool Aunt is from the POV of Arabella, and the epilogue of Emerald Blaze has a scene that is then addressed from Arabella's POV in Cool Aunt. I really recommend reading that one because it does add some interesting context.
Yes, Sassy. I was thinking the same thing when I read that part. I was like, amazing. I'm glad that they like were like, yeah, they found one operational building, but it was booby trapped, and I was like, oh my god, that was Bug's building.
I know.
Yes,
I loved that.
I mean, it had to be.
I'm real sad that the doggy was no more, by the way. Not a fan.
No, I was sad that he lost his dog. But then we get Shadow, and Shadow's pretty cute.
Shadow is pretty cute.
I also love that the warehouse window like constantly plays a part in these stories. Yes. Like in the first trilogy, we had stuff with that stupid window, and she was just like, "Why are you in my room?"
The fact that Alessandro keeps breaking in to their like base.
It's so good.
And she's like, Alessandro was in the tree. And they're like, sure he was, honey. Sure he was. You should probably get some sleep.
A picture frame.
Yes.
Popping up everywhere.
I love that.
Oh, the picture frame was so good.
Nevada got her just whatever payback for all the stuff with Rogan. With that stupid picture frame.
And I love that he finds it and he's like, oh, yeah.
Would you like another photo for the picture frame?
Or didn't he say taking a picture of her that maybe he wanted it for putting on his nightstand?
Yeah. I do love that he stalked Nevada's Instagram until he found her Instagram. Catalina's Instagram. That was hilarious.
It was funny. I also, my other favorite scene with him is when he just eats the habanero pepper.
Yes.
I was cracking up because it was like, oh, he reaches, and I was like, oh no, that's gonna end badly. And I was like, oh, yep.
I loved with that scene when he just like picks her up and holds her just floating in the air until she decides that she's not going to continue chasing Leon and she's going to get online.
Oh yeah, because she's like, Leon, eat the pepper. That is your punishment.
I thought that was cute.
That was funny.
So good.
Actually, if I go back to Catalina for a second, I love that she was trained by Rogan's mother.
Mhm.
Yes.
but she uses what she learns from Arosa and Victoria.
Mhm.
And when in like I like that we get her thought process about which training she's using when
Mhm.
in terms of leading, which
Yeah.
I find
And
that interesting.
She uses her prime mask.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, it's smart, and like I love that we get to see her really. Like I feel like we could see the leader in her in the previous books, but like we really get to see her like figuring it out in this one, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think the nice thing about Alona Andrews is that we never get characters who aren't competent characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I almost feel like this stepped up the level of the ability to play the game in this one, because Nevada and Rogan don't really care so much about the rules.
I think they really pointed out a few times how brilliant she is, how just incredibly smart she is.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I really liked that.
She like graduated early with the ability to like basically go anywhere, and she was like, I don't want to go to college.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that too.
Yeah.
Also, the Bug losing his dog, I also felt like that was a good thing to happen in the time jump off page. That wasn't like
yes, I did appreciate that it was off page. It was not
same
in you know a main plot point. I don't know if I would have finished the book. I'd probably be like, sorry, I'm out.
Yep.
Right.
But,
right.
Actually, wasn't Sapphire Flame? It must have been Sapphire Flames because Cornelius and Matilda were in it more. Where all there was was it this book or was it? Oh, I might be thinking of the last book. I'm just thinking of Zeus and all the kids sitting in one of the warehouses.
It was. I think it was the very end of the first book. I think.
No, because
like,
Zeus shows up in this book. I guess
Cornelius is back.
You know, but that's what I'm thinking. Zeus was in this book. Anyway, I love Zeus and I love Matilda, and I like that Cornelius and Matilda are still in this, although they weren't in it as much as the previous three.
Yeah.
What else y'all got for your notes on Sapphire Flames?
What else do I have?
We can talk about
Catalina's sword collection.
Yes. Yeah. I love that she has a sword collection.
I like that we haven't even touched on who the actual bad guy was in the first book, by the way.
Because who cares?
Well, I mean, but like apparently there's more serum that is just getting like stolen by the public. I feel like that's an important aspect of the world.
Yes.
I feel like that made for, especially in the second book, I feel like that made for very interesting conflicts, constructs, villains. They really used it like brilliantly, in my opinion, to expand, especially the Abyss in the second book. I just felt like that was unlike anything else read.
I didn't see what they've done so far with what I finished of the second book coming. I guess if that makes sense completely.
Izzy, tell people what scene you're at so they have.
Oh, okay. So I am at the end of Emerald Blaze. I'm at like 91%, which is right around when Catalina walks out of the house and Rogan and Alessandro also walk out of the house, and that one dude's there whose name I do not remember.
That one dude
that likes her and wants to marry her.
Proposing.
Is it Albert? Albert? I don't know.
It's Albert.
Albert. No, it's Albert.
It's Albert.
I don't remember how many vials were stolen.
Yeah, it was something like that. I love
this is a really good point too. Yes, I did like the assassins.
Yeah.
And also, Catalina has had 3 years out as a prime before we get her trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah,
which I like. I would hope that any of the other characters, that if we get more series in this, that we do time jumps like this.
Yeah,
where they're a little bit older.
I mean, we're gonna have to do another one probably for Arabella.
Yeah,
Arabella. After reading that short story, I want Arabella's trilogy.
I love her.
Have we confirmed if she's getting a trilogy or a book? Do we know yet? Is there anything out about it?
Know.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna do 333. That was the rumor, I think.
Yeah. I've heard it.
I don't
know that that's factual.
Yeah, I just didn't know if anybody read it on their blog. That's why I
I think if you do get a chance to read the cool art, and thank you, Heather, for telling us to read it this morning, I think that does like sets up potentially an idea for her 3 books in it.
Also, was it another
in a very
story that we saw her use for magic in another way?
Yeah, we did. In the first trilogy, she did like the beast thing. You mean, or do you mean the short story?
You get her POV, you get a different view of her magic.
Oh, okay.
I think another one of her
I mean, you can spoil me all. Like, it's fine. I'm literally getting
you do get a view of it in that story.
There's 2 different like short stories from Arabella.
Yeah,
and you see her magic in a slightly different way for both. And
that's exciting. Because I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of her magic in any way. So.
I loved seeing Linus's magic.
Also, the scene where Alessandro's magic was super interesting, especially his weapons magic.
Yeah.
But scene where she becomes the deputy to the warden and she wakes up and like this metal arm because he just like summoned his entire
Yes.
I love his abilities.
When I got to that scene, I remembered that. And I was like, oh, I remembered that. This is my first read because I was like, this is bananas. And he was just like, here's a mech.
Exactly. Yeah. It was so
and
great. And she was literally like, I like barely lost consciousness. How did all of this happen?
I also love that
because
go ahead.
You go, Megan.
Okay, I was gonna say I love that right before it, Linus, how he had all of his like artillery rifles pointed at Alessandro. I thought that was hilarious.
I was just gonna say I like that both Catalina and Alessandro's abilities are not well known to other people because Catalina's are still sealed, I think. And no one really knows what Alessandro is capable. They don't know what people of his classification are actually capable of.
Yeah,
except
because they don't share
powers because they don't share it. And I like that because I think it means they get to play with lots of really fun ideas in the story. And his weapons magic was just fantastic. Was it the flamethrower and was there a shovel? I can't remember if there was a shovel or something.
Yeah, there was also a banner. There was just like a red banner at one point.
Yeah.
And what's funny is he threw the shovel away and the banner he actually used in the fight, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how like cagey he is about distances. He's like, well, how far is it going to be? I'm not going to tell you how far my magic goes.
Yeah. Right.
Which is always very interesting to see play
I
out.
also I really liked the difference in him between book 1 and book 2 of the trilogy. I thought that he did a good job of demonstrating that and actually making him feel more serious and stuff. We kind of like what they did with Derek, but you know.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a really good job of playing with that idea of there's the public persona and then there's the reality without it being because I mean for like in context with the world, particularly in the second book, you're dealing with a couple of characters who are celebrities within the world but have a really strong this is public, this is private, and there's no clear line.
Who are you talking about besides Alessandro?
Stephen. He's one of the
Okay, listen.
Yes.
I've read it. In Arabella's POV, I'm like, is Stephen gonna be our love interest for Arabella? Because I'm all right with that. We can do that.
That's a hell of an age gap.
I did love his when they were asking him questions and they're like, so is it special effects? And he's like, no, I studied Kung Fu in the mountains.
And then Izzy hasn't gotten to this part yet, but in the big fight with the Abyss, then he's like doing all the things. And Kelly was like,
he's like, Arabella's gonna flip.
He totally is actually this competent.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah. I liked it.
Because he was like, no, I answer emails all day. No, I didn't do any of the special effects. And then he was like just as good in real life.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right.
I found the psionic power interesting in that they were like psionics have to like keep their power under wraps because all it does is cause fear.
Yeah, it's interesting to me what a good job they do of illustrating the society and the different types of magic and how they would affect people's circumstances and personalities and what they would be better about, you know, that type of thing. I feel like they demonstrate that over and over again in the series with different clients.
Yeah.
Particularly.
Do you have anything else about Sapphire Flames?
Benedict was a creepy villain.
Oh,
was.
He's so creepy.
He was super creepy.
He's like, I just torture women and everybody knows it, but I'm powerful.
No
so
one
it's
can do
okay.
anything about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little
not
too
fan.
real.
Yeah, and I think that's the scariest part about it.
Yeah.
Is that rich white guy can do whatever he wants.
Right.
Pretty much.
And has the power to back it up.
Also, Alessandro shooting the elephant in his office and him thinking it's Augustine's Montgomery.
Yeah.
I liked that Augustine was in it too, but again, not as much as he was in the first trilogy.
I like that Catalina keeps outsmarting Augustine.
Yeah.
Yes.
He keeps
And he
underestimating
hates
her.
it. He hates it so much.
He does.
Also, the entire security fiasco would have
That was interesting.
on my last nerve. I could understand like that being like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, Mom Baylor
And
had
yes,
with it,
and
with the
Hart.
security guy. Like, yeah.
That was really good.
Mama Baylor and Hart. I was like, yes. So good.
I was so happy.
I just love that she's like, I got this. Well, I'm going to handle the security issue.
Yeah.
I was like,
And also, they talk about it more in Emerald Blaze about how they're not necessarily trying to separate, like keep that distinction between House Baylor and House Rogan anymore.
Yeah.
I
like
really liked. To me, I understand the politics of, like they do need to be their own house. They do need to stay on their own. But at the same time, your sister is married to Rogan. People know that you all are tied together.
yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it makes sense to me that you would use his resources so you don't all die.
Yeah.
And
It does.
I think it's interesting because you have House Baylor, House Rogan, you have House Edison now that's closely linked with House Baylor, and also Cornelius's house. And I've mentally blanked on what their house is,
I don't remember his last name.
Also, while we're talking
which I think
about-
is a really interesting combination of houses.
And kind of Montgomery, but he's more you do me a favor, I do you a favor type of.
Yeah.
But people keep thinking that they're connected and they're not, and it's great. But
and it's interesting when
Runa
Augustine
and
uses
Vern.
that too. Yes, I love Runa.
I love the scene because of the poison, and Vern's like, no, there's no one here, and she's like, oh my god, someone's been poisoned, and Runa's just like, I'm not in the case.
I know.
And then
that was
you're just
great.
like, I love that Runa's just like, how many of you know? And everyone raised their hand.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't tell. We're just all PIs. And then
I'm
Nevada was like,
nosy.
I just asked him. And
Like,
he lied.
okay, but what could you actually keep private in this house?
Exactly.
Nothing. Because everyone is nosy as shit.
Yes.
And they
Actually,
are going to
that's-
figure it out.
That's the other thing that happened at the end of Sapphire Flames is the destruction of the warehouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
suddenly now they're in.
And the destruction of the warehouse for virtually no gain.
yeah.
They didn't get what they were hoping to get.
I just love that
Wow.
Rogan was like, $1. I'll sell you the rest of the block for $1.
For $1.
And Catalina's
of
like,
course he
no,
did.
we're gonna pay you. And he's like, $1.
$1.
Again, that's just one of those things where money literally doesn't mean anything to him at this point. So what is the point of you paying him $50,000 when it means nothing more to
Right.
him than
Yeah.
the dollar does? Like it truly makes no
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Purely
it was
pride.
a secret just for the fun reveal part, honestly.
I mean, it was
Of
nice.
everyone
And
like,
also,
no shit, we
I
know.
think if you're living in close quarters, sometimes you just want something for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is
And
true.
look at how much the girls got teased and got glittery.
That's true. Yeah, Vern was probably like, I don't need this.
You don't always want that. And
It's,
I
look, it's
like they
I know they're
hinted-
cousins, but it's basically siblings' best friend trope.
Right.
Like,
Right. Also, I love that Leon, Linus, and Bug all got in posturing competitions with Alessandro,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
they all did it a little bit differently.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
none of them were like truly hateful, I feel like, although Linus was definitely like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
But it was just it felt good. It felt like
It did.
family.
I'm real sad about the shift in the relationship with Linus, because it changed some of his personality, and that he wasn't like carefree pseudo Uncle Linus. Instead, he was like Warden Linus, and I was like, I know it had to happen, I guess, but like I'm sad about it because I really liked jolly Uncle Linus. That was just a little scary sometimes.
Which makes me really wonder about, like, I'm so conflicted on what his motives could be
Yeah, I'm not.
in the whole series, because he I think he does, like the perception I get from the books is he takes the role of Warden extremely seriously. It means something to him, and to have Catalina as deputy means something. But then we have what we know about him that no one else seems to know. And it does, like, I'm very confused about where his story could be kind of going. So I'm interested in finding out. But
Yeah, I mean, no, that does make sense. And I mean, I feel like he did not want to deputize her, but he had no choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's definitely that hesitation there of like, shit, I have to do this. I really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that
I
he
feel
tried
like-
to ask Rogan, and Rogan was like, "Oh hell no."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yet somehow,
And I like that
could
Rogan
know
is
about
I like that
it
when
and
Rogan points
not
out.
be involved, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if he actively recruited her into it, we would kind of dislike him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good that they didn't.
True. Steph, what were you saying when Heather talked over you?
Oh no, no, I was just like, when Rogan found out that Catalina had been deputized, his reaction was
Oh yeah.
He was just like, "I'm gonna kill him."
kill him.
Okay. Shall we talk more directly about Emerald Blaze? Again,
Yes,
don't
why
worry about
not?
spoiling it for me, y'all.
I have one complaint.
Yes.
It's not really a complaint. I just felt like it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Their grace period is up. They're now open to house warfare. Their insurance drops them because they're probably all going to die.
High risk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
0 random attacks happen, right? The only attacks are related to what they're working on. It's not anybody being like, yeah, you're not going to be out.
I think that's where the connection to House Rogan. I don't think anyone at the start of this book believes that there's a separation between House Rogan and House Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Also,
think.
But we talked
Arabella
about how
driving to
Roman has
Austin.
been attacked for like the last 3 years.
Mm.
So like they were attacking him directly, so it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't attack them because of Roman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't really make a lot of sense, but I didn't think about it that hard.
I can't wait. I hope we get Arabella because just like the way she handles things makes me happy. Like it's like, by the way, our insurance dropped us. Oh, they did. Where'd Arabella go? She drove to Austin to yell at the insurance company in person. And I was like, that is a bomb move, and I love it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I also so my bestie lives in Houston. So like I've been to Houston and I have like been in the traffic, and every time they talk about Houston traffic in these books,
It's the worst.
It cracks me up. It is
It's
terrible. We don't drive when we go to Houston. Like she picks us up at the airport and we barely drive generally, or like it's so bad.
I
And it's just
vividly
like-
remember being in Houston. I hate Houston, y'all. I never go to Houston. The closest I'll get is Katy because I hate Houston. I remember driving in Houston once, and this truck was like, "Oh, I missed my entrance to the highway." Just drove up the grassy knoll to get onto the highway.
No.
And that's Houston.
Yeah, they have their car that they drive through town because like, and everyone else does. They all have like shitty cars because they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna get hit anyways. It's wild.
Or they all have trucks because no one, like, you hit a truck, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But anytime they're like, yep, road work always in Houston, and I'm like, no, that's just Texas. Road work always in Texas.
Road work is Texas. Yeah,
I don't know
I was just
how long
dying at the accuracy. I mean, I know
281
they're from Austin, so
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know how long 35 and 281 have been under construction, but they're always under construction. I hate it. I hate it so much. That's why I never drive between like Austin, Houston, San Antonio, because that's 35 straight up. No, you cannot make me drive 35. I pay a $15 toll to go around Austin because I hate 35. So all of like the traffic things, I'm just like, I understand.
That's why they do it. They want you to pay the toll.
Well, I was like, this is like, because she'll be like, freaking drive, and I'm like, I'm reading this book, and I was like, oh my god, this is just like word for word same combos I've had.
Yep. Oh, and she was like, jokes on me. I got onto the toll road, and it is bumper to bumper still, and I was like, I feel that. I have to pay tolls, and I'm still just stuck in traffic. There was no point in paying these tolls. There's no point. I
actually do like how much happens when they're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. First book, is that the abandoned shopping center sequence?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
That was really cool.
That's where she gets
because that's when we got the puppy.
That is where we got the puppy. I love that.
I also loved Alejandro in a spider being like, I can make this jump. And Catalina's just like, we're all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but he made it.
They made it. It wrecked his car, but they made it.
Still rolled up in that same car in book 2, so I guess he fixed it.
Or he bought it.
Or he just rebought it. All right. Emerald Blaze.
We do find out that he's renting his cars. So
that's true. It's true.
That would make sense.
Yes. So the opening sequence with the rescuing the monkey is the thing that I thought happened at the start of Sapphire.
I did love the monkey rescue.
I did love the monkey rescue.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Oh, and then because they meet up with Montgomery's people, and it's just like we need the monkey, and they're like, nope, we need the monkey, and then they're like, little girl, go back to your home, and she's like, here's all of my paperwork, give me the monkey, and then Cornelius is just like, here, monkey, and the monkey comes in.
Yeah.
Yes, because they were claiming it was a stolen scientific research monkey. Like, no, it actually belongs to a child.
Yeah,
that is the proof.
That is a child's assistance monkey.
No, they were both right.
Yeah, but it was originally the child's. It was stolen from the child and then sold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Monkey. I love all the animals.
Yeah, animals are so good in all of these books.
Yeah.
So
and then what's his name? The guard dog, where they're like, smile, and it's just like a bunch of sharp teeth.
Oh, who you're talking about. I'm trying.
All I
can think of Duke.
The one that
Bunny. I think his name's Bunny, isn't it?
Yeah, Bunny.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I do like their new security
is this an
staff.
assistance animal? Yes.
Smile.
Smile, buddy.
I do like their new security staff.
Their new security staff was great.
Yes, I love their new security staff.
I love they have code names for people.
I also like that we got a sapphic couple.
Yeah.
And I really liked that not the one that's the head of security, her wife.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, her hiding from something and stuff. I feel like we're going to end up getting that coming out, and they're trying to protect her. That's going to be a whole plot of something sometime.
Yes. Fingers crossed. I would really like that.
I do love her wife.
The wife is same as Linus, wasn't she?
No, the wife.
Oh no, she's an animator. Sorry, she's an animator.
The bad guy in book 2. They're the same.
Yeah.
I liked how they described the magic too of the animators.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
It was very interesting, very different, and I appreciate that. Like, I feel like they managed to make the magic all like very different than what we're used to reading,
right?
Which is nice.
And I did like that, like the main plot line that they're investigating. You had these 4 prime characters with all different abilities, because I think that expanded sort of the understanding, because we had to know what all of them were capable of doing in order to see where they fit in with the plot.
Yep.
I really like that.
You just reminded me of when Catalina had her black wings with blood dripping off of them. They just called her.
I loved the black wing reveal. And then they all tortured her for like a week or two afterwards with like all these books and stuff.
Princess. I loved it.
They were leaving her like Twilight and stuff too, I think it said, or something.
And then when Albert's dad was like, she's not worthy, and he's like, the freaking angel of death is in our house, and he's like, well, I didn't have the pertinent information.
I also really like her regular wings too, like the way they're described.
I just like that they called her the angel of death. I was cracking up.
I loved that it was like a whole new thing, and it was like a scary thing, and her family was just like,
yeah. I feel like it hinted that like it might be another aspect of her powers, because it was like, I just have the wings now, but they don't do anything. And I'm like, does that mean that the wings might develop into doing something?
They could.
And that's the other, like we said before, you know, her powers are so contained because of the potential. So she probably hasn't explored them to that same extent.
Well, for some gods knows why reason, at some point recently, I read the first line of the synopsis of Ruby Fire, or whatever it is, and it was like, Catalina, the siren who's got wings of black to protect her family, and I was like, what? And now I've read the book, and I'm still confused. So I think we're going to have some sort of pertinent factoid to that.
I also, I find it interesting that I think all of the kids, or at least Nevada and Catalina, have some aspect of their mom's side of powers in the weapons thing.
Right. I like that Catalina's was knives.
Yeah,
that was cool. It wasn't just
blades.
Same thing. Yeah.
Oh, and then Nevada having telekinetic powers due to her baby.
Yes.
That was so funny. I was like, that's wild.
Yep.
Read the short story. Totally put me off having kids.
Oh my god, the short story was great. I literally read it like 10 minutes before this live. I skimmed through it.
I'm very
great.
Arabella was like, I'm never having kids. And I was like, that's all of my co-hosts. They're going to read this and be like, confirmed.
I mean, even without the magic, I was there in the room and my sister gave birth. I'm good. I'm solid.
I got a 3-year-old coming next week, and I know by the time he leaves, I'm going to be done.
Yeah, no. My sister has 4 kids. I was in the delivery room for one of them because they locked me in there. I'm like, I'm good never having children.
Nope.
Yeah. I would not want to be forced into a delivery room.
Other favorite scenes besides the one at the end where I'm at currently is when Runa rolls up and is like ready to kick Alessandra's ass.
Yes.
And I was just like, yes, absolutely.
Runa's my favorite. I love her.
And that like, I think that's possibly what was, well, not necessarily missing from the first part, but just have Catalina having a really good friend who's it's her side all the time.
Yeah.
Was just nice to have.
It was good to see. And I feel like Nevada was, like she had the family and those were her friends kind of in a way. And I feel like Catalina was more isolated from the family and also like having to take on so much that she just really needed a friend that was also head of their house and could like talk about the dumb stuff with it almost.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go back to because we had in the first, or in Sapphire Flames, we had Catalina revealing, why she took over House Baylor. Basically, she thinks that they forced Nevada out. And that's what caused the rift. And in this book, when Nevada reveals that wasn't the case.
Well, Nevada doesn't even reveal it. Catalina
figures it out.
I know.
Well, Catalina figures it out.
I know the whole story. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Victoria.
Oh, no, Victoria figures it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria.
Anyway, that's like that reveal. But isn't there a conversation between Nevada and Catalina
There's a
about
conversation between because Nevada was gonna go to Victoria and be like, "Stop messing with my sister."
That's right.
Catalina was like, "No, here's why," and she like went through everything.
This is why I shouldn't read the book 2 weeks before the live because they start to blur. But like,
You could have been me and not finished.
You could have
it, so
been.
it's
You could
fine.
have been everyone else in the last minute club.
it bothered me a little bit that they let Catalina feel like that was her fault.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Because you
disagree
talk
with
about
you.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was annoying. But I also wonder at the same time.
Like I get it, but
I don't know that Nevada realized she thought it was her fault in some I don't know if they realized how much she internalized it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I get that, and I get why it happened, but I also just
because Catalina's not a
bothered-
feelings sharer. She like bottles everything up.
Nevada had just as much guilt as Catalina did. I agree. I think, I think it was really good that Nevada was like, let's not do this again. Let's communicate.
Yeah,
Let's not make my mistakes over and over again. And also, I don't know. I definitely had something, but it's gone now.
I also will say I didn't we've talked about the pit in multiples of these books. I didn't expect the pit to become the main character in this book that it became.
Yeah, I know.
Very quickly out of nowhere. But it was cool. I was really excited about it because
it's a very cool concept.
Weird choice to give the serum to a thing in the pit. So weird.
I thought they gave it to the construct, and the construct
they gave it
fled
to the construct.
The pit.
Because the construct that's what I'm saying. It's just
but the pit itself is an entity.
Yeah.
So that when it it's this amalgamation of everything. But I think it's a cool concept going from we knew that everyone who sort of didn't fit in society with magic gravitated towards it, so there had to be a reason why that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then to use that to structure it into being the sort of one of the enemies.
Why does this keep happening where everyone is like, no, we will make this area profitable? And I'm just like, bruh, they have been trying this since before the pit was created. That's how the pit was created. Stop trying to make it happen.
Rich people with money.
That's just never going to happen.
Yeah, no. It just was interesting. I was like, I didn't expect this weird, I don't know, semi-robotic, semi-whatever.
Yeah. Sentient,
I just love how it's spread out across.
You haven't read the final
everywhere.
fight scene, right?
No,
she hasn't read the Abyss.
It's fine.
Oh man, it gets weird.
It gets so weird.
I know,
real weird.
Listen, are we gonna get a novella? The pit doesn't survive.
As soon as Victoria gave her the advice.
Hold on. The pit doesn't survive, so we don't get a novella where the pit monster fucks somebody.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought that they were like, we'll just leave the pit and its entity alone, in peace. And no.
Well, but it's pseudo.
I think if it had stayed where it was, it probably would have, but it wasn't staying.
But it kept growing. It did keep growing. That's right. Burn said that.
This is where we're gonna have our first real fight. You're all wrong. You're all wrong. Okay, they very specifically said in the book so many times, this is emphasized so much, that because the laws of magic were broken in making the thing, the construct, the Kraken, that then became the Abyss, it was literally extinction level stuff. They literally said, if you ever do this, that thing is just going to grow and grow and grow. It's going to view all humans as a threat, and it's literally going to wipe everyone out. Yeah. And so it's not like you could just leave it. And it wasn't, Magic of the Pit definitely gave it its environment, but it was its own being that got put in the pit and thrived and grew and learned. And it was such an interesting thing. I know.
Fuck things. Come on.
The fact that it just keeps killing people and taking their brains and spinal cords is disgusting.
I have more.
You haven't watched The Expanse, have you, Megan?
First of all, that's how it was made. It learned from its creator. It didn't come up with that on its own. Secondly, I'm glad we brought this up. Precious said that reminds her of the Fold, but the thing that makes this unlike anything else I've ever read is you have this alien-like entity you have the magic, like the Fold, or the Forbidden Zone, or the Pit, or Unicorn Lane, or you have all these things. You also have a magical construct. You have an AI who grows and learns and becomes a threat to its maker. You have all these things combined in like a weird way to make something that I've never read anything like, because it's not any one of those elements. It's like a very
unique.
Yeah, but Heather, the tentacles.
Look, I'm very tentacle focused here. I'm not going to deny.
What about the tentacles?
I just needed to say it.
Also,
tentacles. That's all we need.
Also, it was.
Need to make her read more monster romance.
Also, it was a male mind. Also, the fact that he was like, "Here, I'll put you on a lily pad in the middle of the pit.
He's gonna seduce her.
You will live happily ever after on my lily pad."
Well, I kill fish.
That is not an analogy for men. I don't know what it is.
Draining humans, for real.
Why don't you want to live on this lily pad that I made you? Why is this not romance? This lily pad. You're like, I hate water, but this lily pad. I'm trying with this lily pad.
Hi, Tamika.
Hi, Tamika.
Hey, Tamika.
I just want to know that I'm sorry.
Temptation.
You can't bring up tentacles in my brain without me being like, who's getting fucked with the tentacles? Like, you just I'm like, who's getting fucked?
I feel like
where are the penetrative tentacles?
Big. They were like grab and man.
I have
not
no idea
insert here.
There is no such thing as too big in a romance novel.
Accurate.
Is all I have to say.
Well,
because they will find a way.
We're good to go. We don't need any physical limits.
It will self or extra lubricate somehow. It just happens.
Or we just pretend that you don't need it at all.
It's just
whatever.
Fine.
Well, isn't it in Found by the Lake Monster?
It came at the right time, Tamika.
In Found by the Lake Monster stuff, doesn't his junk extra lubricate?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. So I just imagine everything now. I was like, Lillian Lark has ruined me because now I'm just like everything just extra lubrication on its own. Magic.
There was what was I reading the other day? Oh, Little Green Vines, which is weird. But same concept.
Cool. I mean, Found by the Lake Monster had, and maybe the Pit Monster also could have done this. He could have impregnated via inserting in straight into her cervix. It's fine. Don't question his abilities. I'm gonna write you fanfic. I cannot wait.
I'm not questioning monster fucking. I am just saying.
Steph is like, I will read this.
I'll read it.
So good.
Although, can I say what was interesting about the construct that started all of this? I really liked. We'll try and go back on track because I'm not going to argue with you, Heather, on it because I don't disagree with what you said.
Excuse me. What do you mean you're not going to argue with me? I am.
She just said she doesn't disagree.
Actually, I don't disagree.
When people say they don't disagree,
no.
agree with you. You are right.
To argue with you when they clearly don't agree with you, but they're.
She didn't say I'm not going to argue with you. She said I don't disagree with you. Those are different things.
I'm aware. She led with. Not going to argue with you.
Anyway,
go ahead.
You're not wrong, but.
What I found really interesting in terms of the world building and the magic and the serum was that this construct wasn't a new construct because Cheryl had never built anything new. So the only way she could make something new was by injecting the different magic into it.
It was a new construct, but yes, it needed, they didn't already have Kraken, number one. The Kraken was new, but it wouldn't necessarily worked without the serum. What I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I feel like, again, another thing that they kind of did a twist on is a human being warped by magic or a magical potion or serum or whatever.
Yeah.
That was another thing that tied into the abyss that made it different.
Yeah.
Also, Cheryl was the worst.
Yeah,
She was so bad.
she's awful.
Yeah.
I did like Stephen and Tatiana though.
Tatiana
read more
and
of them.
Cornelius, when Cornelius was just like, my life sucked, and Tatiana was just like, boo hoo. And I'm like, dang.
She had a point though.
She did, but I was just like, wow, she has zero like empathy. I think it's just a Pierce family trait. None of them have empathy.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sometimes you just need those characters though. Just
I don't really think
highlights
so.
the strength
though.
of
I
others.
think she was saying, my family tortured you and your family helped them, but my family tortured me too. And you didn't have to live with them. Yeah, you had to be friends with my brother, but you didn't have to live in my house. And it was worse.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I'm out because
Alessandro.
I still have a book to read.
No. The reveal about Alessandro and his status as count.
I wasn't.
I mean, I knew something was going to happen.
Barely expecting it because we knew. We knew at the end of Sapphire Flames that he had a relationship with his sister and stuff. So I wasn't like, he has no relationship with his family. But it all made sense. Clearly, he was going to leave his house as soon as we knew that was the deal made. Clearly, he was going to.
Well, yeah, and I knew as soon as she made that deal with that, I was like, he's going to leave for her. He doesn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't even have to leave, which also helps her not to have any unnecessary guilt about it, because he didn't leave, his rightful place as heir.
Yeah.
Like he was already gone.
I felt really bad that they were pimping him out for marriages.
I know. I also made.
We did not read an incest book.
How did you get to that?
I'm so confused.
No, this is to me. No, leave. Bye. I'm gonna ban you.
I'm gonna ban you. We have any speculation. Alessandro and Catalina are gonna get married.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get to see.
It will be a very stylish wedding.
Nevada and Rogan.
We get to see the baby. Oh my god,
we're gonna see the baby. I think we're gonna get like the full scope of their powers, like of her powers.
I've heard that the third is not as focused on the romance and is a lot more.
We were talking about a character's sister, not them banging.
Just being his sister.
But I think that like there's the relationship itself, I think, is strong enough at this point that it doesn't have to be centrally focused on their romance. I think if it's more about them as actually functioning as a couple rather than having to get to that part, then that's fine.
I do though really love the part where they are a couple, so I'm always happy if that has a good amount of page time, but I feel like it will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that whatever plotline mystery thing that they'll be solving, they'll be working together and bantering, and they have great banter.
I think that Catalina and Alessandro will both be in front of Victoria together.
Yeah.
For some sort of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we're going to have a showdown with Victoria in this book or not. The third one. I also do really think that it helped it not to be so repetitive for her to be the deputy. So this one was much less focused on the client and, we're forming a friendship with the client. We're trying to keep the client safe. We care about the client's family and who they left behind. Like we didn't really do that because the family was Alessandro's client. It wasn't her client.
Yeah.
So like that whole element was kind of flipped a little bit and kind of gave it a fresh
Yeah.
I agree, and it would have felt like, even though she's her own character, a rinse and repeat more. I feel like without the deputizing and that whole thing.
Yeah.
I love the reveal when they're all like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
That's why there's always money.
Runa and her big
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
And Linus being like, "Oh, the family always knows. I'm surprised it took you made it this long." When she was like worried that he was going to kill all of them or something.
Yes.
He was like, yeah,
Well, didn't he tell her in the first one? Like, you can't
he
even
said,
tell your
"Don't tell our
family.
family."
Yeah.
And she did it, but also, I just like that he was like, "Yeah, that happens."
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's got to be Catalina versus Victoria in some capacity.
Why is Victoria so like mean when she loves her family, but she refuses to show that she loves her family?
That's because she wants control, and she wants them under House Tremaine.
Yeah.
Because she tries to, like, she's always trying to maneuver all of them to where she wants them.
Mm-hmm. And I think she just like can't handle the idea of not being in control. So
like she loves them and she wants to be involved, but she also wants to be the one in charge of making all the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Although I find it interesting that basically she's like, well, since House Tremaine is dead, you have to let House Baylor live on because everyone knows that House Baylor is House Tremaine. Oh my god, I love it. Yes.
Hold on. Yeah. No, she goes to prison instead. It's fine. Luxury prison.
She goes to a luxury
the prison that's a country club.
Yeah.
The country club prison.
I do love that they're like, where the prisoners who are super rich go, and they behave because they don't want to go to an actual prison.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to see where
she doesn't have phone privileges, but we know that it's her.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have phone privileges, but she has phone privileges.
Again,
she can't leave the prison, and yet she leaves the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seems about right. Any other points y'all have? We're coming up on an hour or so. And I know we're all exhausted.
We all look slightly dead.
That we've kind of set it up that Catalina is more powerful than Alessandro.
I do too. I love.
I think there's going to be more Arabella in this third one.
I think so.
Because
I hope so.
As long as it goes with that original plan of like they're going to set up for another trilogy with Arabella, that I think that means that they're probably going to set up with more Arabella.
While we were talking, I went and looked up the referenced FAQ thing, and they said that basically, I guess Ruby Fever is their last traditionally published book for a while, potentially, because they want to write at their own pace. I don't get their newsletter because I don't read newsletters, so I just will like delete it and then be like, oh crap, I meant to read that, and then I went and read the whole thing, and they just said that they're not going to announce anything until basically it's almost ready to be published.
That's fair enough.
Which is fair. Like, I don't blame them. I mean, also, they're a big enough author that them transitioning back to indie, I feel like they're not even going to notice a change.
Yeah.
For their sales.
They're so popular.
They have such a big backlist, so.
I think that the cool thing about staying up for Arabella's trilogy is I feel like they've made it very clear that they're not going to swap out head of House Baylor again for Arabella.
Yeah.
So, whatever she's doing will be different. from Nevada and Catalina.
Yeah, I just pulled up their blog post.
I don't think Arabella would make a good head of anything. Like, she's great,
no,
but like that, she does not have that personality.
But I don't, and she
could. I just think she's.
I think she could, but I don't.
But
I don't think. I don't think it would. I don't think it would suit her. Not that she's not capable of doing it, and I also don't think that that's what she would want.
Right. I don't think that she's going to be the head of anything in particular either. But I think that we're not going to get her as a teenager. you know,
No, I
gonna
don't
get
think so.
her
We're gonna get another time jump.
mid-20s. So
Look,
who
I
knows
just
what
need me
period.
some Leon, man. I need all the Leon.
Arabella and Leon solving crimes.
Yes.
They haven't given us any books with a male character as like the main character in POV though.
Don't
You
put
want me to
Godzilla in charge.
I'm offended.
I mean, agreed. Don't put Godzilla in charge. Yeah. Okay, but see,
Especially
now
not
that you
if there's
said
a
that,
math
I
problem.
need to see a like Arabella versus some sort of Mothra creature
That would be so up her
destroying
alley.
Tokyo. I need it. I need it real
It would
bad.
be so up her alley.
Like
She would love that.
Arabella studies abroad in Japan and then just like
Arabella and Steven go to get his brother, the
in China.
drama or whatever star, out of hot water.
He's a Chinese drama
I
star.
love that. That
They're
was
from
so
China.
funny.
Okay, yes.
That sequence
He's
where
supposed to be studying in Japan, but he's not actually in
No, he's
Japan.
studying in Beijing. They
No,
said
he's not studying at all.
No, I know, but
saying that
it's a Chinese drama. He was supposed to be studying in Beijing. That's in China,
Oh, okay.
not Japan. They are
Got it.
Chinese.
Japan.
I do love like I know it'll date them later on because it did with the Vine thing. But I love that they're like, yeah, it's on the Viki app. And I was like, that's actually a thing, yeah.
I mean, it's still a thing. I don't know that Vicky will go anywhere
Chinese
for a
dramas
while.
are on Viki.
I mean, I don't see Vicky going away for a while.
Drama Fever went away.
Yeah, I would accept that too.
So
Yeah.
yes, I would love that.
Okay. But if you read Arabella's POV,
Yes, you do have to read Arabella's POV.
You do.
That's
All
different.
right. I cannot wait
Also,
to
you
finish
know,
the sticking book
you
and go read that
know
POV.
Steven actually liked doing the acting. You know he did.
Mhm.
Especially like when that
He
fight
protested
scene
too
at the
much.
very end happened. You know he did, even though he's like, no, I didn't understand the point of acting. Like BS, bro. You're just about family obligations, but you know you enjoyed it.
He wouldn't have argued the plot on the show if he.
Mhm.
I loved
Yeah.
that. I love that he was like, wait, who watches the show? And they're like, it's on Viki, and he's like, please tell me it's not popular here. And they're like, yeah, it's actually pretty popular here. And he's like, no.
Yeah, that whole thing was
I love it. It's so good.
I'd be okay with more Steven. I want like a loose tie, top button, unbuttoned type of Steven. I want to see that. Seems like he'd be pretty funny. Like a very dry sense of humor funny.
I think there's a
Do you think
solid chance we might get him. That's our next level.
Yeah, I
Can
mean,
you
I don't
imagine
feel like
him
they've
and
set up-
Arabella? Oh, that'd be actually really good.
I mean, oh no, okay, but I read the summary for Ruby Fever, and there's someone that shows up, and I wonder if that's going to be her love interest.
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't read the summary, so tell me nothing.
I'm not going to say anything, but it does
I mean,
hint to
I
someone
Megan
else arriving
everything
as a
now.
surprise, and I wonder if that's Arabella's love interest, and that would actually make a lot of sense because
I'm sorry.
because of the fact that she would never be the house. Right.
We're team Steven.
We are Team Steven.
As of
I
right
mean, I
now.
would
We are
still
team
like
we're team
Steven.
straight laced and manic pixie. We are that team.
Team Steven.
Team Steven. We need a
Yeah,
very
I'm not opposed.
straight laced dude because Arabella is all over the place. We need the balance.
Also, I really like how femme Arabella is.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
The beast of whatever it is. But I really like how femme she is. As a
Well,
person,
especially with her
especially
powers,
yeah.
like she's it works.
She's
and
a
it's a contrast with
Freaking
Nevada, too.
monster. But she's still like, either I need my eyes to pop or I need my lips to pop. I can't have both. Oh my gosh, when they went to Montgomery's place and she was like to the secretary, just like, oh my god, did you get the new limited edition palette? And she was like, yes, I did. And Catalina's just like, Okay.
Okay. Keep walking. Sorry, I just read the Ruby Fever something thing because I haven't actually
I'm
read it
good
before.
not reading it. I'm not reading it. I don't need to.
Like me.
I love going.
I mean, I'm
into
just
things
saying that the way that is certain thing is dropped in there, I'm like,
Yeah, I can
good,
see that.
I'm good 100 blind on a lot of things I read.
I mean, I do too, but I just like glanced at it because the Blackwing mentioned in the summary that Heather had, I think.
Like literally anyone recommending books to me, if they're just like, oh man, you'll like this book.
I read for
one
the vibes.
sentence, I'm like, done. Let's do it. I don't need any more sentences.
I've told you. You just tell me the tropes, and I'll decide whether or not I want to read it.
Same.
I don't need to know what's going on. Just
Heather's
the tropes.
video, the trope is like the what is it? The spoiler is the trope or whatever.
The trope is a spoiler.
I was just like, cool. I don't need to know anything about these books. Let's go.
All right.
But you haven't read it.
I did. I read
Any
Four
other
Psychos.
points?
You read what?
And then I read Four Psychos. Thank you very much.
Did you read the whole series?
I read 4 and 3.
I don't know.
So I need to read 2 and 1.
Where's my
It's 4
Sorry,
Psychos. It's 4 Psychos, 3 something.
Oh,
2 something, one
oh my God.
apocalypse.
I thought you meant book 4. And then
No,
book
yeah, I read them back.
Time to get a drink,
I was
Izzy.
like, why not?
I'm just gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Y'all are trapped on my channel.
Yeah, we're
I'll
trapped
take a
on your
nap.
channel forever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real weird.
We're gonna nap. It's fine.
Well, listen, you don't know anything till you get to
I got
me.
it.
One of those.
I got a
Izzy.
new
I
Squishmallow.
want to go finish it, which is why I'm trying to get y'all off this dang live.
I got a new
Goodbye.
Squishmallow. Y'all need to see him. He's if you
Okay.
see real close, he's ribbed for your
Okay.
pleasure.
Okay.
I love
Yeah,
it.
he is.
That's literally why I bought him, because his tummy's ribbed and it feels good. It's just fun to
I
do
don't
that.
want to know what you do with the rib squish.
It reminds me of what's that, like the washboard.
Okay, I'm turning this off. Okay, say bye, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Oh wait, the last